Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So Edison Cavani will not be available for the Newcastle game on Saturday because he has to self-isolate due to COVID-19 restrictions. So he won't be making his debut for the football club against Newcastle. Now, we did get Edison Cavani on a free transfer. Edison Cavani signed a 2-year contract with Manchester United worth around £230,000 a week. Edison Cavani left PSG earlier on in the summer. He endured 7 seasons with them, scored 200 goals in 301 games in all competitions, scored 50 goals in 116 internationals for Uruguay. When PSG got him, they paid around £55 million for him from Napoli. I think Edison Cavani at Manchester United is going to be the next Zlatan Ibrahimovic. My only element of concern about him is with his record of injuries, and he is our new number 7. As you all know, Anthony Martial is unavailable for the game on Saturday because he got sent off in our last league game against Tottenham. Obviously, we lost that game by 6-1. Martial has got a 3-match suspension. So, yeah. Now, I want to delve into some more news. According to the AS, via Sports Witness, they have said that Oligarch Solsjaer is considering making a move for Eduardo Camavinga from Renz to replace Paul Pogba. Real Madrid are also interested in Eduardo Camavinga. Now, he's currently the age of 17, so very, very young. He's been in Renz's system since the age of 11. He signed his first professional contract, I think, at the age of 16, and this was back on the 14th of December 2018. He has got a contract with Renz, I think, until 2022. And he is a midfielder. I think we've inquired about his availability before. Now, it's looking very, very likely that Paul Pogba is going to be leaving Manchester United next year, because Paul Pogba recently made an admission saying that his dream is to play for Real Madrid one day. So Paul Pogba wants to go to Real Madrid. He said last year, Paul Pogba, that he wanted to leave Manchester United because he was seeking for a new challenge, and he was talking a lot about Real Madrid last year and Zinedine Zidane. Now, there is a lot of uncertainty regarding Paul Pogba's future. I want to confirm with you, there is no talks over getting Paul Pogba a new contract at the football club. As it stands at the moment, he has got around a year left on his current contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. Now, Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, he said, I think before we kicked off our season, that Pogba wants to stay at Man United and he will hold talks over a new contract. He said a few weeks before the end of last season that Paul Pogba was close to signing a 5-year contract with the club. Now, there's also been narratives of Paul Pogba possibly going back to Juventus. Paul Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus, but the vast majority of his performances at Manchester United have been totally comparison to his ones at Juventus. Now, I think Paul Pogba's had a couple of good periods at Manchester United. He did well towards the end of last season. His combination with Bruno Fernandes was very, very good. He did well in that 3-month period when Solsjaer was the interim manager. But apart from that, he hasn't been that consistent. I think he's enjoyed a very bad start to this season as Paul Pogba. This is his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined from Juventus back in 2016. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. He has sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player. Like I said before, for the vast majority of last season, didn't have a perception on him because he was out with that ankle injury. Pogba has made over 100 appearances for us in all competitions since he rejoined, and he's won the Europa League and the League Cup with us. He obviously enjoyed a difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era, but so too did all our top players. And don't forget, we had Paul Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Sir Alex Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. But Mini Raiola, his agent, has been in the process of trying to get his client to transfer away from Man United for a while. Don't forget, we was critical of Mini Raiola at the turn of the year because he publicly criticised Solskjaer and Manchester United, didn't he? You saw my recent video that I did. It says Man United are considering making a move for Raphael Varane next summer. And Dan Bollon mentioned that we are willing to pay around £90 million for Raphael Varane. Could he possibly be part of a swap deal of Paul Pogba going to Real Madrid? So that's the latest news on that. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Mauricio Pochettino, have your say on this. Now, I think Mauricio Pochettino is going to be Manchester United's next manager, because Solskjaer is now very close to getting sacked. My perception is that I think Pochettino is a better manager than Solskjaer, is because he's well Premier League proven he's Pochettino. He's dealt with top players. Like I've said before, my only element of concern about him, he has not won anything in terms of silverware. Pochettino has been managerless now for a year, something like that, because he was sacked by Tottenham last year. Pochettino endured 5.5 years with Tottenham. Analysing the vast majority of his tenure, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4. Last year, he guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. And obviously, before he was at Tottenham, he was at Southampton. I think he did very, very well at Southampton. He guided Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League era. And before he was at Southampton, he was at Espanyol. So far, he's managed 3 clubs in his managerial career. Now, there was reports coming out last week saying that we made contact with Mauricio Pochettino's representatives. He was linked with a managerial role at Man United before we appointed Solskjaer in, after Jose Mourinho had got sacked. But if we are to appoint Pochettino in as our new manager, he will be our 5th permanent manager since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Man City have also been in for Pochettino. Real Madrid have been in for him before. There was reports once saying that Newcastle were interested in Mauricio Pochettino. But there's a lot of Manchester United fans now that are demanding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out of the football club. Would it solve a lot if Manchester United sacked Solskjaer? Because not all of the blame obviously stems from the manager. But Ed Woodward did recently say that he's prepared to sack Solskjaer if this poor run of form continues. We've enjoyed a very, very bad start to this season. We've already lost 2 of our opening 3 league games. And both of these defeats have come at Old Trafford. We lost our opening game against Crystal Palace by 3-1. And we recently lost to Tottenham by 6-1. So reflecting on this, we are sitting 16th in the Premier League. So we're near the relegation zone, and we've registered 3 points from our opening 3 league games. I think the best game we've enjoyed so far was the 3-0 win against Brighton in the Carabao Cup. It'll only cost Manchester United around £4 million to sack Solsjaer. That's totally contrast to the 18 million that we paid to get rid of Jose Mourinho. Solskjaer is under contract with Man United till 2022, so he just got under 2 years left on his current contract. Solskjaer won't see out his contract at Manchester United. Now, obviously, this is his second full season as Manchester United manager, isn't it? And I was saying before this season started that Solskjaer has got to guide us to a top 4 finish, and he's got to win a trophy this season for us if he's to keep his job at Manchester United. And I said, there's obviously players that have got to improve. There's obviously, quite a lot of players that have enjoyed a bad start to this season. I think also too, Solskjaer's got to address that back line. And I think his decision making's got to improve, because I think in a lot of his games as Manchester United manager, he's been too tactically naive. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. We appointed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in December 2018. He's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. The main explanation why we give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job permanently, I was reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. We did make a mistake by giving him the job permanently, like I already mentioned. But for me, like I've said before, I want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure at Manchester United to work out, because at the end of the day, I love him a lot. He was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance, but my honest opinion is I don't think he's good enough to succeed as a manager, because he hasn't got that proven pedigree. Manchester United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. Before he was with us, he was at Mould, won a few Norwegian titles with them. And before he was at Mould, he was at Cardiff, enjoyed a very, very short tenure with Cardiff. His record was disastrous at Cardiff, but the main explanation he got sacked from Cardiff is because he ended up getting Cardiff relegated, didn't he? Don't forget he managed our reserve team for a couple of years, and he watched some of this team at this day and age grow and develop. But last season was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first full season at the club, and I credit him for last season because I think he did exceed most of his expectations. Like I said, he guided us to 3 semi-finals. That was the FA Cup semi-final, the Europa League semi-final, and the EFL Cup semi-final. He also got us qualification for the Champions League, and I did say how important Champions League was for our players, attracting players and for the financial structure. And we also finished 3rd. That's the second highest we've finished since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. But this season, I want Manchester United to win a trophy, because we've not yet won out in terms of silverware under Solskjaer, and we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years. Solskjaer's been Manchester United manager now for almost 2 years. So far at the club, Solsjaer has spent over £200 million on signings. Obviously, in the summer of 2019, he recommended Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and he brought Odin Igalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of this year, he brought Donny van der Beek in, Edison Cavani, Alex Telles, Facundo Pellistri, and he obviously brought Amad Traore in. Amad Traore is going to be joining the football club in January. He's also brought quite a few academy players into the football club, but I've already said I like the way that Solskjaer has promoted the youth. We've also seen a lot of players leave the football club since he got recommended in. The recent players to leave Manchester United were Chris Smalling. He joined Roma on a permanent deal. We saw Diego Dalot go out on loan to AC Milan. We let Andres Pereira go on a one-season loan with Lazio. Tahith Chon, he went out on loan to Werder Bremen. Dylan Levitt, he went out on loan to Charlton, didn't he? Sanchez, he joined Inter Milan permanently. Angel Gomez, he also left the football club. Young, he left back in January. We saw quite a few players leaving the summer of 2019 though, didn't we? Which was obviously last summer. Obviously, we let Lukaku and Herrera go. They were two players that Man United should have kept. We also got rid of Ander Herrera. Didn't we? Fellaini, he left in January 2019. He was the first player to actually leave Manchester United under the Solskjaer era. Darmian left the club. Valencia, he also left the football club. You know what I mean? So we've seen a lot of players leave since he got recommended into the club. And we're still looking to get rid of quite a few more players, aren't we? We're looking to offload Lingard, Rojo, Phil Jones. Don't forget Sergio Romero. He's open to leaving the football club. But like I've said to you, I think we are at least 3 to 4 years off from winning the Premier League title. Could be maybe even longer, to be honest with you. We haven't mounted any title challenge up in the last 7 years, and we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. So the last time we won it was in Sir Alex Ferguson's last season. I think a lot of the blame stems from the board. Because Woodward and the Glazers have not backed Solskjaer enough, have they? I think the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired have not been backed enough by the board. And Solskjaer revealed quite a few times throughout the course of the summer transfer window that he was very frustrated with the board. Because analysing the summer transfer window of this year, it wasn't that good, was it? Because we missed out on all of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priority targets. And there was also other targets that we missed out on who obviously weren't Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priority targets as well. But we did miss out on Jadon Sancho. We missed out on Jack Grealish. We also missed out on Ousmane Dembele. Don't forget, throughout the course of the summer transfer window, we inquired about getting him on loan. We also missed out on Ismail Assar. We missed out on Thiago Alcantara. We missed out on Kalidou Koulibaly. We missed out on Sergio Reguilon. We also missed out on Gareth Bale. But, Woodward's been at the football club since 2012. The Glazers have been at Manchester United since 2005. Matt Judge, he's been with us around 7 seasons or something like that. He's been a transfer negotiator at Man United since 2016. I think Matt Judge is accountable for some of the failure of transfers. But like I've mentioned before, I think the biggest culprits are the Glazers, because they're the ones that recommended Woodward and Matt Judge in, and I don't think they've got any intentions of selling Manchester United or getting rid of Ed Woodward. I also think it would be very beneficial if Manchester United could get a director of footballing. Because I did say, didn't I, that's one of the structural changes that we need at the football club. And we've been in the process of trying to get a director of footballing since the Jose Mourinho era. Woodward has come out quite a few times saying that Manchester United need a director of football. But if we are to get a director of footballing, we need someone who knows the club inside out and someone who has got that experience. Now, before, there was quite a few former Manchester United players linked with that director's role. Obviously, there was talks of Edwin van der Sar coming in, there was talks of Everett coming in, there was talks of Ferdinand coming in, there was talks of Darren Fletcher also coming in. But, yeah. But, like I've said to you, Solsjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. We've sacked 3 managers since the Sir Alex Ferguson era, and that was David Moyes. He got sacked after, 8 or 9 months. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we also sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season. Also got a second in his first season, did Mourinho. I think, there's some Manchester United fans that have said, we made a mistake by sacking Jose Mourinho. But from my own perception, we recommended Mourinho in too late. We really should have appointed Mourinho when Ferguson retired. Ferguson made a mistake by obviously appointing David Moyes in. But the main explanation why Ferguson did that at that time was because they was both Scottish. And so, like I've said on I think the videos I did the other week, I think Solskjaer is in a similar, or is in the exact same situation to what Mourinho was in. Mourinho didn't get backed by the board, and obviously, Solskjaer's not getting backed by the board because Mourinho said in the summer of 2018 that he wanted to get a centre half in, and obviously, he never got that centre half in, did he? So there you go. But we haven't dominated English football since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. I don't think anyone at Manchester United will replicate Ferguson's legacy or last as long as Ferguson did. I don't think any manager in general will do what Alex Ferguson did, because Ferguson endured 26, 27 years at Man United. Obviously won a total of 38 major honours, didn't he? Including 13 Premier League titles. So we are the most successful team in Premier League history at the moment. But, Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Manchester United. And, was very, very close to getting the sack. It's a good job he didn't, because if Ferguson would have been sacked after that first 4 years of not winning out, Man United would not have had any success, would they? Because all the success came under Ferguson, because since he retired, being inconsistent. Before Ferguson came into the equation, inconsistent, because we weren't good under Ron Atkinson, we weren't good under Wolf McGuinness, and we weren't good under the likes of Franco Farrell. We got relegated under Franco Farrell back in 1974. You know what I mean? We have spent nearly £1 billion on players in the last 7 years or so. This includes what we've spent under Solskjaer. We've recruited over 30-odd players in since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Under the Moyes era, we brought Fellaini and Juan Mata in. Obviously, under Louis van Gaal era, we must have bought a good 13 players in at least under Van Gaal. We brought the likes of Schneiderlin, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Memphis Depay, Rojo, Darmian, Martial, Shaw, Herrera, Victor Valdez, Sergio Romero. That's the players we brought in under the Louis van Gaal era. Then, obviously, we brought 11 players in under the Jose Mourinho era. The vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's, isn't it? So like I said, Solskjaer's inheriting a lot of Jose Mourinho's team. He's still inheriting a few players here from the Louis van Gaal era. And he's inheriting Mata from the Moyes era. And I think there's still, 2 players here from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. So there you go. But without a shadow of a doubt, there's definitely players at Manchester United that have got to improve. David De Gea, he's got to get back to his best vein of form. Solskjaer, I think need to put Dean Henderson as number one. You know, because I think Dean Henderson is now reliable enough to become our number one goalkeeper. You know, David De Gea is too much of a liability. I think David De Gea has probably had around 7 good seasons at Manchester United. You know, this is now his 10th season at the football club. I think we could possibly sell David De Gea next summer, couldn't we? When he does leave Manchester United, I think he'll go back to Spain. But Saka, you know, he's got to improve. He's had a bad start to the season. We'll keep him he's obviously our first choice right back. But he's lacking that attacking intent. But I think his defensive contribution's always been good. Maguire, he's had a very poor start to the season. He's obviously got to get back to his best vein of form. And I think we've definitely got to take the captaincy of Harry Maguire and probably give the captaincy to Bruno Fernandes. There's a lot of Man United fans that have said we should give the captaincy to Bruno Fernandes because he shows fantastic leadership in the team. Victor Lindelof, very inconsistent. Maybe there's a possible chance we could sell him at some point next year. Solsjaer's already confirmed that Eric Bailly will be playing more regularly this season. Should be okay for Newcastle, but he recently sustained a hamstring injury whilst he was on international duty with Ivory Coast. So my only element of concern about Eric Bailly is that he is injury prone, obviously. Luke Shaw, you know, he hasn't enjoyed the best start to the season. He's no longer our first choice left back anyway, following the arrival of Alex Telles. Pogba, he's enjoyed an abysmal start to the season as well. Fred McTominay, Matic, they haven't had best starts to the season. I think we've probably got we've got at least, 4 or 5 good players in that team. And that's Rashford, Greenwood, Martial, Bruno Fernandes and Donny van de Beek. I've got to also say that Brandon Williams is very, very good. We have got, as you all know, we've got Newcastle on Saturday. It is a game Manchester United must win. It's very, very imperative that we do get back to winning ways. I think Solskjaer's going to change his formation, by the way. I think he could go with 3 at the back against Newcastle. Well, sorry, should I say 5 at the back against Newcastle on Saturday. Because quite clearly the 4-2-3-1 formation isn't working. Doesn't really seem to suit our standards. Didn't work a lot last season. Hasn't worked so far this season. You know, he's got a few options of what formations, you know, he could go with Ollie. You know, but we've got tough games coming up, like I've mentioned. After Newcastle, it's PSG in the Champions League. We've named the 25-man squad for the Champions League. After that, it's Chelsea in the league. Then, obviously, Leipzig coming up. Arsenal's also coming up very, very soon, isn't it? So, anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.